Hey everybody, and welcome back. I am on the road this weekend, so what better way to spend a little downtime than recording an intro for this random video. This week we are making a leather messenger bag. I have a coworker who asked that I would make one for them, so I wanted to walk you guys through the process. I think you guys know that when it comes to sewing clothes, I am an intermediate sewer. But when it comes to leatherwork and things like that, I feel like I've got a little bit more expertise in that. So today's video is really just gonna be me kind of showing you how I put this thing together, and be on the lookout at the end for maybe a little bit of special information, maybe? No. Let's get to the bag, because I am actually really excited about this one. Before I get started on any project, I always make sure that I sharpen my knives first, because a dull knife is a dangerous knife. So with this little electric knife sharpener, I put on some eyewear and get everything nice and slicey. And before I develop any new pattern, I always do a little bit of market research to make sure the size is correct. But once I have those dimensions down, I write them on some sort of piece of paper that I have around, in this case, a different pattern. Totally makes sense. And then I start transferring those measurements over to leather. Today we're using a medium brown nubuck, which means that it kind of has a velvety feel to it, and it doesn't show scratches very well, which is the kind of leather I tend to gravitate towards. Having a sharp knife not only means you're less likely to cut yourself, but it also means that you only have to do one pass per line rather than kind of hacking at it time and time again. Sometimes doing that means you end up with dangly bits, and people don't really like dangly bits on their bags. Maybe in other places they do, I don't really know. I generally design very minimalist bags, so this bag is no exception. There's going to be 2 pockets on the front and a computer divider in the middle, and that's it. Trying to make sure that those pockets on the front are aligned perfectly is probably the most important thing right now, because that's what everybody's going to see with this bag. I get all my tools in line after I've got all the panels cut out, and then I start rounding corners and marking places where the stitching needs to be punched out. I have the equipment to machine sew this together, but I just really like the way hand sewing looks, and so I'm gonna punch out each individual hole for my thread, and this is probably the part that takes the longest, except for maybe the stitching itself. But if you have a lot of anger and frustration, this part is amazing. I'm designing this bag to have a 3.5-inch gusset all the way around. That way it gives it a nice flat surface to sit on. Hopefully it will stand up on its own. But I always kind of guess at how long my gussets need to be, and I try really hard to measure them correctly, but sometimes I just kind of guess. Because I'm really good at math, like real good. The number that I ended up with here was still probably 1.5 inches too long. I fixed it in my notes. The last parts to get together before assembly are the strap holder pieces, and for these, I do use what's called an egg punch. You usually see these for belts, but it gives those ends just a little bit of zhuzh, I guess. But I get those punched, put the stitching holes in, and then it's time for assembly. Stitching everything together is probably my favorite part of the whole process. I find this not only incredibly productive, but pretty soothing as well. But fair warning, it is hard on your fingers. So I hope you have calluses. For the front flap, I decided to rivet that on instead of stitch it. And I like the way it looks, but I'm not sure if that's the way I want to go with future iterations of this bag. But again, if you have a lot of anger, being able to hit something pretty hard is pretty satisfying. I'm installing a twist lock on this bag because, again, I want to keep it as minimal as possible, and the person that I'm making it for doesn't want clasp and he doesn't want anything too fussy. Just wants to be able to access it very quickly, but keep the little flap down. With the last seam sewn together and the final few details in place, this bag was done. Okay, special announcement time. So as many of you know, I have been preparing some sew-it-yourself kits for leather bags, but releasing them is kind of intimidating. So I am actually in need of some guinea pigs. I am looking to recruit a couple of folks to give me some honest feedback on what I have planned so far so that moving forward, I can make the process as perfect as possible. So I have two designs that I need feedback for. One is the messenger bag that we just saw, and the second is the box bag. It is crossbody. You can definitely fit a couple of very tall, skinny cans in here if you need to. That's what I understand from other people that have bought it. The messenger bag is more of an intermediate project. If you have sewn with a pattern before and you kind of understand the steps to take when putting patterns together, that's probably a better choice. But if you are brand new and you just want to give leatherwork a try, the box bag is right up your alley. So in order to be considered for this, I need two things from you. One, you need to live in North America. The only reason why I'm saying this is because I'm just not financially ready to start shipping overseas for things yet, and that can get kind of expensive. But I do have something for my international folks here in just a minute. And number 2 is you have to leave a comment below letting me know which version you would prefer, or which version you think is the best fit for you. You do not need to be a subscriber, although I absolutely appreciate it when people subscribe. And if you haven't already, just go ahead and beep boop, down there. And I will make the ultimate decision on my folks that are going to get one of these kits by the end of March. For my international folks, I am also working on digitizing the patterns for these. So if you are international and you want to try making leather bags, same thing. Leave me a comment below. Let me know that you are an international viewer, and I will put you in the consideration for getting a free advance copy of the digital pattern. The kits will include everything you need to get the project finished except for a lighter to melt the threads. Those are not something that I want to mail out. They are readily available, so hopefully you can at least provide your own fire source for that. You will also have access to an instructional video that will walk you through the process of putting these together. Once you finish either the kit or even the digital pattern, I'm gonna send you a Google form so that you can give me some feedback, and I can use that to make corrections or make updates as needed. And hopefully you will end up with a really cool bag that you want to share on social media. Just please tag me in that. That way I can see what you have done and how you like it. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a comment, even if you don't want to be put in the consideration for a kit. Let me know what you think of the messenger bag, and I will see you guys next time for probably more pants shenanigans. All right, bye.